Hey guys, it's Pink Blusher here, and welcome to my first Let's Play. This is going to be the Upgrowth challenge, and the family that we'll be focusing on are the Wurths. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the Upgrowth challenge, basically you start out in the 1890s and you play. Every generation is like 2 decades, and you sort of end up playing 10 generations all the way to 2080, if I am correct. So every generation you have different sets of rules, like what activities they can do, what careers they can have, and you can also roll the die depending on if you're pregnant. Your sim is pregnant, for example, or if your sims get sick, specifically in this generation, you can roll the die if they get sick, or you have to roll the die if to die if they get sick. And for example, if you roll 2 1s, which is snake eyes, your sim dies. So it just adds on to the gameplay. So today, we're going to start with the words but one thing. It is the Upgrowth challenge, but we are starting in 1902 or 19 something. Just in the last decade of the antique generation. By the way, I'm going to link the rules in the bottom so you guys who are not familiar with the Upgrowth challenge can get familiar with it, and in case you guys want to play it as well. So I played with this family for a while now, and I decided that there was just too much drama not to record it and post it on YouTube. So basically, I'm going to let you guys know what has happened up to now, and we'll pick up right where we left off. So basically, the patriarch of this family his name was Nicholas Worth. So he came from Bon Appetit Street. So he is technically French, but since I didn't want to say that he was French because there is no concept of France in The Sims, um, I wanted to say that he was from Bon Appetit Street, and I got that name because somebody made like a fictional Sims 4 world, and I thought that was appropriate for where he was from. So he was raised by his mother after his father left when he was young. Having come from elsewhere, by the way, he's an artist. So having come from elsewhere, like he wanted to be an artist here, so he changed his he added an H to his name to sound more Germanic. So instead of Nicolas, he is now Nicholas. And he also changed his surname, Martin, or Martin, I don't know how to say it in French, to Worth. So this was all in hopes of fitting in. And eventually, when he moved in, he fell in love with Philadelphia Worth, aka Philadelphia Ross, who was the youngest daughter of a storekeeper. So basically, she was also very artistically inclined. She liked music, or she likes music, and she likes art, so they were perfect for each other. And since she was the youngest daughter of a storekeeper, she didn't really have to marry strategically, so it was fine to her. It was fine for her to marry a starving artist, but he wasn't really starving. He hit it off. He began his painter career, and he did extremely well. So anyway, now let's get into what happened when I started playing the Upgrowth challenge. So this is basically what happened from 1910 to like 1900. So basically, it all started with well, the point of this challenge is trying to get pregnant, right, and having more generations. And Philadelphia was just not getting pregnant, and I think that was a glitch in my game. But at the same time, I think it helped it helped the game be much more realistic. So anyway, um, Philadelphia had been trying, but it just didn't happen. And you have to remember that in this game, women have to stay at home. So Philadelphia would stay at home all the time by herself while her husband went to work. And there is this, I'm going to introduce the villain of the story here, who I do not like one bit in this save for some reason. He's just extremely creepy. Mr. Where is he? Gunter Munch, if this loads. Anyway, this little jerk over here kept walking by her house while Nicholas was away for work, and he just kept knocking and kept asking if he could hang out with her. He kept texting her. I do not know how to disable phones, so yeah, they do still text. So I just regard that as if they were sending letters to each other. So anyway, Gunther was just constantly like coming and bothering her. Well, anyway, I'm just letting you guys know because he is important a little bit later on. So anyway, Philadelphia and Nicholas finally get pregnant, or Philadelphia gets pregnant. And one day, because when you get pregnant and you reach the third trimester, you have to roll die, and if you get doubles, I think, or whatever you need to get, I to like lets you know that your sim is going to have a miscarriage. So I got extremely lucky and she had a miscarriage. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm being sarcastic. Like, it took me forever to get her pregnant, and she got a miscarriage. The first pregnancy that she got. But anyway, in the game, Gunther got like really aggressive with her, and at the end, Nicholas like got into a fight with Gunther, and Nicholas ended up with a black eye. So I'm just going to blame it on Gunther as to why Philadelphia lost her future baby, her potential child, because it all happened like at the same like in the same day, and just to add some drama. So then anyway, some time passes and Philadelphia finally gets pregnant again, but she has an extremely troubled pregnancy, and she is really good friends with Clara Bergegson, and basically she she confides in Clara a lot. So she tells Clara, you know what, like, it's been extremely hard for me to get pregnant, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And Philadelphia's dream was always to have a bunch of kids in her house. And basically, they have this conversation about how she wanted to have more kids, but she realizes that that's just not going to happen. So basically, she's able to have her kid. She has a wonderful little boy named Upton. He's all grown up now. Over here, he looks just like his dad. But basically, right after she has her baby, she gets a knock at the door one day. And who shows up? Sophia Bergikson with a little baby bump. So she tells Philadelphia, she tells her, Gunther, like, raped me, and I am pregnant now with his child. Like, being sympathetic towards Philadelphia, because she knew all of this because Philadelphia had confided in Clara. She knew that Gunther was to blame for her loss, for her miscarriage, and so Sophia tells her, "Will you take in my child? Like, I know you've been wanting to have kids. If you don't take in my child, I'm gonna be destroyed as a woman. Like, I'm going to be ostracized." It's just, especially because she's from such an influential family, she just did not want to go through with it. So, anyway, Philadelphia convinces Nicholas because she's like, you know what? I've always wanted to have kids. It's always been my dream. Like, it would just make me extremely happy. And they were going through some trouble in their marriage anyway. So he just decided to agree to, to please his wife. So in the end, Sophia Bergikson moved in with them because it was actually really common in the 1890s for women to, because they couldn't go to university or to study professionally in painting and like the arts. So basically the women in the 1890s, what they would do is they would live with a professional artist so that he could teach them, because they couldn't technically go to a school about it because they weren't taking seriously. So it was more of a hobby instead of a career. So I looked it up, I did my research, and it was perfectly normal for her to have moved in with these guys. So basically, Sophia, what a sweetheart. They all like grew very attached to her, and she had twins, which she named Nicholas and Bridget. But unfortunately, Sophia passed away after giving birth, and this is because I rolled die. And just It made me extremely sad because I don't know, I just felt for her. I just felt for her, and I don't know how I could feel for her. I mean, I never have been through that, but it just made me really sad. And I know they're just Sims, but it made me really sad, especially because she was playing the guitar that morning and she was playing like a really sad song. I felt like she was foreshadowing her her death. So anyway, after that, um, they had a funeral for her, and Nicholas Wurth passed away from because once you become an adult, every week you have to roll the die, and so the second week of his adulthood, he passed away. So basically, we're just that's where we kind of are. Um, Upton has just aged up, and he is a manual laborer. I just love his outfit. It's very like going to the factory or going to work with my hands. So right now, even though they do have 5,000 simoleons, they're not doing too hot ever since her husband died because they they don't have anywhere to earn money. Like they don't have a source of income. So Nicholas had to quit. Sorry, not Nicholas. I'm gonna just know that I'm gonna have trouble calling him Upton. I always think that he's Nicholas instead of the real Nicholas because he looks just like his dad, and I'm used to calling him Nicholas. So basically, so Upton just quit school, he just aged up, and he is going to be a manual labor. So yeah, that's where we will pick up next episode. I hope you enjoyed learning the history of the Wurths, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.